Nestled in our 6 ABC studios in Philadelphia. Welcome to Philadelphia Union Soccer with the club's all-time leading scorer, Sebastian Letou. I'm Dave Leno. Seba, 11 games left before the MLS playoffs. How did the Union continue their dominant play? They've won 5 straight games against the Cincinnati side. Who's impressed under first-year head coach Pat Noonan?
Yes, I think right now for the Union, it's all about confidence. I think now it's very high and they need to play the same way.
And to your point, the confidence is flying high from the Union front three in total between Carranza, Ua, and Gazdag. 27 goals. That's the most of any trio on the same team in MLS entering week 24. What about the movement, Seba, has allowed the front three to be so successful?
I mean, it's just very impressive, the fact that they really play well together. You have
strung by back-to-back shutouts, looking for the same in the month of August. And with more on tonight's matchup, we send it over to JP Dellacamera and Danny Higginbottom.
Thanks, Dave. Danny, we know this is not an easy game. We saw
back at our 6 ABC studios in Philadelphia. Welcome to our halftime report with the club's all-time leading scorer, Sebastian Letou. I'm Dave Leno. Seba, the Union doing a ton of defending through one half of play. I think the rest defense of FC Cincinnati really good. It was like a 4-against-6 with 6 defenders back for Cincinnati. How could the Union get a little bit going more in the final third offensively and in transition? From our 6 ABC studios in Philadelphia, welcome to our Union post-match show with club legend Sebastian Letou. I'm Dave Leno. Only the 3rd loss for the Union this year, Seb, as we just played our 24th game. Why such a disappointing night this evening?
I think it's just because a lot of players, for me, didn't really play at their level tonight, I think.
Why did you feel FC Cincinnati, it seemed to me, had much of the numerical advantage? I saw a lot organized with the rest defense, 6 behind the ball, sometimes 7, but it seems like they dominated midfield over the Union tonight.
Yeah, I think they have like much more number in the midfield, which having Acosta, you know, kind of dropping a lot. And
one update I should let everybody know, New York City did fall to Columbus on the road, so the Union are still in first place, maintain a 3-point edge over New York City. By the way, City does have a game in hand over the Union. Some tough nights for a few Union players. Bizo might not have been his best game like we saw. I thought he played very well for Houston. Maybe tonight, topsy-turvy. The Union did a ton of defending. Glesnes was caught out of position a few times, had a lot of recovery sprints. What did you make of the backline defending? I know all the goals in the second half happened, but why were there so many problems amid Andre Blake?
I mean, I feel it's not just, you know, the defense, it's also the team.
You're right. We have to give credit to FC Cincinnati with the win. They're now in 6th place. They started out in 9th, tied for points with Charlotte and a host of other clubs. Their first win since June against Orlando. You know, when I think of Gazdag and Ua and Carranza, and for a lot of Union fans wondering tonight, if it was a game like this where they're not getting a lot of touches in the final third, how do they make themselves active, whether it's in transition or getting some hold-up play in a game that transpired like this?
I mean, it happens, you know, sometime in a game. I've been in those shoes, you know, where it doesn't really go your way, but...
Tip of the cap to FC Cincinnati tonight, getting their 8th overall win, and 2 great games with the draw back in June in Chester, and then tonight with that 3-1 win, their 4th home win of the season. When we return, those full match highlights coming up after the break. Due to the loss tonight, the Union fall to 12-3-9 this year. It snaps the club's 5-game win streak and 6-game unbeaten streak. Back in Philadelphia with Sebastian Letou, I'm Dave Leno. Let's get right to our full match highlights. The second of 2 regular season meetings between the Union and FC Cincinnati. Great pre-match moment. Harris Badunian, former Union player, 100 appearances for the Union. In his last appearance tonight, came in after the 85th minute. Chris Albright, Pat Noonan. Good photo op with Jim Curtin as well. We get to the highlights, Sebastian. We begin in the 14th minute. Opportunity inside the area for Acosta, and Bizo comes up big with a slide tackle.
Yes, Bizo on a great play defensively, really winning the last moment to tackle Costa, who really had the opportunity to have a shot on goal, but great tackle for Bizo, really clears the danger on this play.
And no shots on goal from the Union. You're not going to see any highlights from half number 1 from the U, but in the 36th minute, Alvis Powell, I thought, had a great game with 3 in the back, coming up high on the right-hand side to Brenner. Initially, this was called a goal past Andre Blake, thanks to the head, but then this went to video review. Drew Fisher was all over that, disallowed due to the handball here on Brenner.
Yeah, we can see on the replays.
1Q Acosta out to Barriel. The front 3 start to be very clinical. Vasquez scores for his team-high 14th goal.
Yeah, great cross from Barriel, but you see the run from Vasquez really like take advantage of Elliott not really being close to him, and great finish with his left foot near post. Nothing on the rear can really save for this goal.
6 goals in the last 6 games for Vasquez. Acosta again for his second assist over to Brenner in the 55th minute past Blake.
3-0 now for Cincinnati.
And that one, Sebastian, occurred on a counter-attack. Here's Paxton Aronson off of the deflection of Woboto, who gets his first of the year. This was great to see from Paxton at the 77th.
Yeah, it's a great finish with his left foot again, like he did last year for his first goal for the Union. But great layback from Burke, and you see the confidence he has right now. Coming in the game, try to bring a spark to the team, and he does it with a great goal with his left finish.
Yeah, that did bring some energy to the Union, but McGlynn on a free kick went a little bit wide, and it results in a 3-1 win for FC Cincinnati. Just disappointing and not good enough. 2 shots on goal tonight from the Union.
Yeah, we saw 15 shots, but just 2 on target.
And despite this loss tonight on the road, the Union remain 3 points ahead of New York City in first place. We'll continue our post-match show on the other side. Welcome back to Philly. Sebastian, I want to ask you, we were discussing this when we were watching the first and second half, is how come so many long balls over the top, instead of on the ground as they were transitioning into the final third?
Move the ball quickly on the ground and put a lot of difficulty to defenses like Cincinnati, who is very good in the air, but not very good on the ground.
Yeah, and to dovetail that point, no hold-up play for the center forwards tonight for the Union. Limited touches for both Carranza and Uwa. Now that's a product of the guys in the back not finding them as well, so it's a multitude of areas. But the good news is the Union remain in first place, 3 points ahead of City. Let's get to the updated Eastern Conference standings. Again, City lost 3-2 at Columbus. Now they do have a game in hand over the Union. The Union have 10 games left before the playoffs. Both Montreal and the Red Bulls drew tonight, and that's a good sign, Sebastian, for the Union.
This week.
You're right, the Union are unbeaten at home, and adjustments will be made for the Union for this next matchup against Chicago at home next Saturday. Chicago, by the way, now unbeaten 5-1, 3-2 at Charlotte tonight. We'll preview that matchup against Chicago on the other side as we wrap up our Union post-match show after these words. Up next, a rematch against the Chicago Fire next Saturday. Again, they won 3-2 at Charlotte tonight. Kacper Shabilko, former Union player with a brace this evening, had a chance to avenge that loss back in June against Chicago.
Yes, I think it's a good challenge for the team to have Chicago coming because they are hot right now.
All right, so throw this game in the wastebasket. Don't watch the tape again. What do you replicate from the Houston 6-0 win for the matchup here against Chicago next Saturday?
I think exactly what Cincinnati did to the Union. It just pressed them right away, get the fans together like they did against Houston, and the fact that tonight they were a bit like shy offensively, bring everybody forward, push numbers, and when you do that, it's where you win the second ball. You win the ball right away after you lose it, and we didn't really see that tonight. All
right, that will do it for us tonight. Again, it's just the third loss this year for the Union. Again, it culminates in a 3-1 win for FC Cincinnati at TQL Stadium. Sebastian and I will see you next week on TV for the matchup against Chicago. For producer Jordan Strauss, Sebastian Latu, and our entire fantastic crew, I'm Dave Leto. Stick around. Action News at 10 is coming up next, anchored by Jillian Milley. On weather is Brittany Boyer. Jamie Apodi has sports. Union fall tonight, 3-1 to Cincinnati.